Just last week, in this very hall, history was made. A week of intense activity occurred throughout the Gigiri campus here at our home in Nairobi, beginning with the youth coming in the week before, the Tunza network, trying to bring the perspective of young people to bear upon the deliberations that would start on Monday officially. The voices that were heard throughout the week, whether in the Environmental Rule of Law Symposium, whether in the Financing the Green Economy Symposium, or the evening town hall debate, Unea Unplugged, certainly gave credence to the fact that the voice of major groups and stakeholders belongs into the center of this new United Nations Environment Assembly. But at the end of the day, it is an intergovernmental body, and governments arrive from all corners of the world, over 160 delegations, over 100 ministers, many representatives also from government agencies and partners of UNEP converged on Nairobi to try and give the United Nations Environment Assembly the kind of startup that many had hoped for. 16 decisions and resolutions covering topics from ecosystem-based management to plastics and marine litter, the issue of air pollution and the extraordinary toll it takes on human health, but also the issues related to chemicals. Spoke to the diversity of issues, but also to the commitment of governments and delegates here this week, not only to focus on process, but also on substance. The debates on issues such as the Sustainable Development Goals, the post-2015 Development Agenda, and sustainable consumption production proved to be rich and meaningful. Another session was the evening session specifically arranged under the topic of illegal trade in wildlife, a topic that has taxed us for so many years and that in certain parts of the world has become a crisis. Much of the function of the United Nations Environment Programme is to keep the global environment under review, to bring the best science and assessments to the attention of citizens but also of policymakers, and to provide ways forward of how we can address these issues together. The Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, and many others from across the UN family made sure that Unea is not only about environment in the sense of what UNEP does, but it is the United Nations forum in which environmental issues are transacted, are focused on, and also have implications for the work of many other parts of the UN system. And as we begin to focus on the actual implementation of the decisions and resolutions and the many outcomes that emerge from Unea, I think we all have a sense of history on the one hand, but also a sense of humility. What lies ahead of us is the next chapter in the long journey of environment and ultimately enabling us to make our economies work for the benefit of our societies and for future generations.